end rankings, week 16. This is normally a place where I put Kelsey at the top, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not. I can't do it anymore. Kelsey's not my number one tight end, and this would be the very first week that this happens. If he plays well, maybe the last, right? But I just think with kind of the inconsistency that Kelsey's shown, we've seen some other tight ends offer more upside and more consistency. There's two tight ends this week that I have for sure over Kelsey, and the other one's kind of a tie for me because he's playing better. Harder matchup. Hawkinson and McBride are my top two tight ends this week. And TJ Hawkinson obviously has the ceiling, that 30-point, 40, sometimes 40-point ceiling. Like we've seen Hawkinson have major days, but he does have a 30-point ceiling any given week. So I think with Hawkinson, we have to acknowledge that and rank him appropriately. Also has a 10 to 12.4 any given week. When it comes to Trey McBride, he offers that same floor. We just haven't seen the same ceiling yet. So probably one of the safest floors at the tight end position. It feels like Trey McBride is starting to become the new Travis Kelce, in my opinion. And then we got Travis Kelce at 3. A lot of people are talking about this Raiders matchup and saying there's, a lot of potential for him. He's played well against the Raiders. I'd like to think that we can just pencil him in for that, but this season hasn't really shown me a lot of optimism for Travis Kelce having those 150-yard, 2-touchdown games, which is the only reason, to be real, that's the only reason we got Travis Kelce rated so high. He offers the upside of 150, 125 yards with a 2-3 touchdowns sometimes. We ain't really been seeing that this year out of Travis Kelce. So when it comes down to fantasy playoffs, could he provide something like that? It's in the realm of possibilities, but I'm playing the probabilities right now. And the probabilities say Travis Kelce has either something else on his mind or he's not playing to the level that we're expecting. There's a slight downturn in production. So we got to call it what it is with Travis Kelce. He's still an elite tight end, but I think we're holding on a lot more to name value right now in previous expectations and draft capital than what Travis Kelce's actually been outputting. And I'm guilty of that myself. Next up will be Sam Laporta, who's obviously shown that he can produce, had 2 touchdowns last week. But we talk about a matchup against Minnesota. All the weapons are back for this team. I got Sam Laporta slightly below Travis Kelce just because I'm not expecting back-to-back blow-up weeks like that. That'd be crazy. He's still high-end, tight end. You're probably starting him. Unless you got 3 of these options, you're starting Sam Laporta. And then next tier is very close. Very, very close. You know what? And I need to adjust. I need to add 2. I'm going to add 2 into this category instead of putting them in a tier below. David Njoku and Evan Ingram. I'm going to tier them up. I had them written down in my next 2. These 2 belong in this tier. David Njoku, the way he's been playing with Joe Flacco he's been playing at an elite level. So whether it's been touchdowns, it's been catches and targets and volume, and against this Houston team, it's a plus matchup for him on paper. Give me David Njoku and then Evan Ingram, same thing. Plus matchup for Evan Ingram against Tampa, but also offers he's the wide receiver 2 for this team. With Christian Kirk down, with Zay Jones probably not going to play this game. Evan Ingram has way more upside than his usual 5 catches for 50 yards. That's normally what he provides. There's a lot of ball to go around for him in a game that probably will be Trevor Lawrence is going to have to throw the football this game. So give me Evan Ingram, David Njoku. They're both in that same tier. I messed that up. In the tier right below them, we have more questionable, I would say, 2 more questionable plays. George Kittle, we know he can produce, but his results are random, and he's going up against the Baltimore Ravens, right? Sometimes we see that 80-yard George Kittle. Sometimes we see 2-3 touchdown George Kittle. There's a wide range of outcomes, and so I would tier him down just because the expectation is probably he's going to be up there. We just don't know what to expect. A little bit more of a floor. And then Jake Ferguson as well is in the same tier. A lot of what he has to do is touchdown dependent. So in a higher scoring game against Miami, I'd like to have a piece of that offense. I think we could throw Jake Ferguson in that same realm as George Kittle. I'd put George Kittle ahead of him. Next tier down is where we're going to throw Dallas Goedert. I got to tier him down. Dallas Goedert, Cole Kmet, Darren Waller, Dalton Kincaid. And Darren Waller is only in there because of pedigree and the matchup. against Philly. That's it. He's only in there because of pedigree in the matchup. Otherwise, I probably would tear down Darren Waller one